Good afternoon, and welcome to Heart and Soul with your host, Wanda Williams.
Oh, come on, Heart and Soul. We'd love to have you. We are the what, Keon?
The promoting machine.
The promoting machine. We sure are. Oh, man, I got a lot of stuff going on, Keon.
What you got going on?
I have a new sponsor. El Greco's Family Restaurant.
El Greco's up in Appleton.
I know, in Appleton. They are located.
Favorite spot.
My favorite spot because I don't cook. I've been going there for years. I never know I become part of the family.
Are you going to keep saying that over there?
Yeah.
That you don't cook?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't cook. So they were like my lifesavers because they're not that far from my house.
Did
and I
you
would go
boil
eat.
water?
No.
Oh.
And I don't do anything. I just look at the stove and he looks at me and we go in our different directions.
You wish well.
Yes. So they've become a sponsor. They're like my home away from home. When I want to get home cooking, I go there to get it, or somebody else's home.
All right.
Okay. We also and I want to make sure that you know that they are located at, let's see here, 9143 West Appleton. And I also want to let you know that Garfield 502 is having their Christmas party on Saturday.
Okay.
And they sent me an invitation, Jewel and Lamar, so that makes me feel real special. You know, somebody
when they don't send me in.
I know. You feel special when Garfield 502 send you something. So they're gonna have Christopher Project at 6:00, and the party starts at 1 p.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, party all
and
night.
there's some free food. I think I'll be in the first one in line. They have fantastic food. And I also want to let everybody know this is our last show of the year. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back on January the 3rd with our contest winner to host a show with us. And I got some good responses. Who wants to come in and host a show?
Yeah, let's talk about that on the other side.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess what you're doing, you're kind of saying, "Come on, let's go." All right.
Yeah,
Well, King,
let's
that's my line.
Let's go.
Let's get started.
Welcome back to Heart and Soul with your host, Wanda Williams.
I am back. I have 3 wonderful, informative guests, and I'm going to start with Juan. Juan, introduce yourself and what's your coalition or what do you do?
Hello, everybody, to all those listeners that Wanda Williams, what a great show you have today. And let me tell you, you are a voice in the community, and thank you so very much for doing that.
You're welcome, Juan. I like him too. You're not leaving. You got to stay.
Well, let me tell you, I am Juan Carlos, and I am working with the Coalition for More Responsible Transportation.
Okay.
It's a coalition of different organizations in the state and the city to make sure that we have a better transportation system for our folks.
Good. And we have our next guest.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nick, and I'm with the Milwaukee Transit Riders Union organization by bus riders for bus riders to improve our bus service and to increase other transit options in the Milwaukee area.
So wait a minute. You're a bus riders union?
Yeah, we're a union for bus riders.
Oh, I like that.
So if you join the union, what do you get?
You get better bus service.
Really? Do you show a card? I'm at the union. Let me on the front of the bus.
we don't like that front back scenario. But what you do get is a T-shirt, and you can wear that to all the public hearings. A lot of people forget about the public nature of our public transit system, and they don't think they have a voice in what happens. My bus ran late. You can call up phone numbers and complain about it. But just as one bus rider, there's not really much that they're going to do if you call up. But now if you're part of an organization with a couple hundred people that said, we need better bus service, we need more funding for our bus service, we shouldn't be paying as much as we are for the limited bus service we have, then suddenly you're part of a movement, and it's hard to ignore a movement when they're also voters.
That's right. And we have Miss Beautiful Jackie.
Gorgeous.
Yes. Hello, listening audience. My name is Jackie Ivy, and I'm also a member of the Milwaukee Transit Riders Union. And on today, I'm also, and sorry you can't see it, but I'm wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You'll see it on the video. That you'll receive
once you become a member of the Milwaukee Transit Riders Union.
Okay. And Keon, give the number if somebody would like to call in and have a
414-444-5250. That's 414-444-5250 if you have any questions and comments for the guest today.
All right, Juan, I'm going to start with you. What is the biggest concerns that we have?
So right now we are very concerned that the governor is proposing expansion of the highway in Highway 94 between 16th Street and 76th Street. And they are proposing to do a huge expansion of that with a $1.2 billion price tag on it. Imagine you, $1.2 billion proposed expansion on Highway 94 just for the part of the stadium. And basically for people that come to work from Milwaukee can go home faster than even Waukesha or Kanawha. All right, and we are opposing that type of expansion. That is not good for us. Let me ask the people. All right, when is the last time you drove a Highway 94 around there by the stadium area? Our folks do not do that much.
No,
and
I
we don't benefit by that.
Right.
And what they are proposing along with that is increase the taxes. Increase our taxes for paying for other people that do not live in the city to come to the city, work here, go home faster. That doesn't make sense to me. They want to increase the fees when you go to register your car, your plates. They're going to increase those fees so they can pay for this highway expansion. That to me is wrong. What we are proposing, to the contrary, is to fix these roads in the streets.
You got that right.
All right, when is the last time that you drove to Capitol Drive and there wasn't a pothole in there?
Oh.
All right.
Oh, any street, especially what is that street up there? Not Wisconsin Avenue. The one for that, I can't think of it now. 35th Street.
35th Street.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yes.
27th Street is terrible. We have a lot of potholes in the streets, and they need to be fixed. That helps our community. That helps our seniors. That give us safer transportation. And they are proposing to waste $1.2 billion for expansion that we don't use it and we don't need it.
Right. And if a pothole tears up your car, you can't even get it fixed by the city. That's their fault because they're not fixing those potholes.
Exactly, but they are not responsible for it. By the time you get to the city and got the stuff, your insurance went up. You cannot drive your car. All these problems that comes because they are trying to allocate money in the wrong place.
Exactly.
And people can do something about it.
Okay, and so how does this coincide with the union? I know that you both are with the union. That is
right.
Jackie and Nick.
You got it.
Tell me about that. How does that coincide with that?
Great. So we are one of the member organizations of the Coalition for More Responsible Transportation. The reason why we're a part of this coalition is because time and time again, the state has neglected funding public transit. Now, there's a lot of other cities throughout the country who have awakened to the fact that public transit is actually a viable means of transportation. The state of Wisconsin does not recognize that, and this is the reason why they want to expand the freeway. Now, if they actually spent money on public transportation to help people get access to jobs in the suburbs, there would be a lot less need to use that freeway, and many more people would consider taking the bus out to those jobs and also taking the bus in the community as well. But they've decimated the bus system, and it seems like it's a very intentional effort to do so to give us only one choice. Now, that's not a very good choice when you live in Milwaukee because, as Juan Carlos mentioned, the streets are so bad. Buses also use those streets, and if you take maybe the Route 12 up Tatonia, you'll know you can barely even hear someone say next to you because that road is in such bad condition. It's important to keep in mind, however, that the state is largely responsible for the funding cuts to maintain our local streets. It's not like we've got walls on our city that doesn't allow people from throughout the state using our streets. So people in other counties use our streets. That's why the state really should be spending, and historically has spent more money on our streets. They just simply, for whatever reason, don't want us to. And partly to consider, now some people might not use the freeway, but people who live nearby the freeway might use the freeway, partially because the streets nearby them are so bad.
Yes.
It might take longer because they're in traffic, and maybe the people living in the neighborhoods contribute to that traffic because they don't want to have to go to the mechanic. It's going to take them 5 more minutes, but it'll save them $100, couple $100 bill to fix their car. So if you fix the streets, you offer better transit options, you're going to not need to waste $1.2 billion. What Juan Carlos hasn't mentioned yet is that the alternative to expanding the freeway is they could just rebuild it as it is. It could use some repaving, even the freeway as well, but that would cost hundreds of millions of dollars less than the proposed expansion. And the reason why the expansion is so expensive is because the cemetery is right there, and they can't go wider, so they're considering going higher. They're considering going a double deck.
And
Carlos, jump in and explain that.
You know, it's very funny how the state wants to spend so much money. $1.2 billion. Imagine what we can do with that money, all right? But they're trying to spend that money and expanding just 3 miles of the highway. We want to spend $1.2 billion where we can use it to have more bus system for our folks. You know, the jobs are leaving Milwaukee. Jobs are and there's more African Americans and Latinos. They are driving less.
Yes, because cars are expensive.
Exactly.
The maintenance, the gas. I mean, if your car,
insurance.
Yes, if your car goes down, what do you do? How are you going to get the money to fix it? And it's not easy fixing. It's not cheap to fix a car.
It's not cheap. And then when your car needs to be fixed, it's 1 or 2 days to get fixed. And now, when you want to fix your car, you need to get the car to the mechanic. You need to pay
Exactly.
for that. All the expenses that come along with that. So people are driving less, but jobs are leaving the city.
And they're going out to the suburbs.
They're to the suburbs. So what we want is to provide a better transportation system for our folks to go to the jobs.
Okay.
What we want is make sure that the seniors do not need to be in the winter time waiting for an hour for the bus to come.
That's another concern. I'm going to ask Jackie about that. Why does it take so long for a bus to come? Especially if you're I live near Brown Deer. The bus takes, I couldn't even take the bus. I freeze to death before I get a bus. Why is it the further out you are, the more time it takes to get a bus? The buses don't run that often.
And you're right. I ride.
I can hear you, sister. Come on, talk to the microphone. You powerful woman. What's up?
And you absolutely right, Carlos. Cut it out. I ride the bus, and I experienced that long wait myself, and that's why we're here as the Milwaukee Transit Riders Union to encourage bus riders to join us so we can fight and stand up against the indignity that's going on against us. Who cares if you have to wait long hours for a bus? And so standing up to fight for quicker services, and particularly out to the outlying areas where the jobs are why we are here. And once they hear the voice of the riders, those type of things will actually change. So a lot of folks in Milwaukee, we're a city that's recognized as high in poverty. And a lot of our folks don't own cars. So we take the bus, but we're limited in where we can go as far as reaching our destinations, and also including in this highway expansion, we're asking that they also create a transit corridor for those of us who take the bus, so.
Okay, so if anybody would like to get in on this conversation, what is our number again, Keon?
414-444-5250. That's 414-444-5250. It seems to me that a better transit system would be greener anyway.
Yes.
Right. When you're looking at the environmental degradation that's going on, the threats from global climate change, you have cities across this country that are really making improvements for bus service. Cities that really want to see a better world for new generations. In Europe, they're making there's European cities out there that are making bus systems free, because they want to say, we want to do everything we can to get people on buses and out of their cars, because we all benefit when people do that. And so it's a question of perspectives. You have the Milwaukee, which is the exact opposite. The state of Wisconsin, which is the exact opposite. They're saying, we want to make it as difficult as possible to be on the bus. Like Wanda mentioned, having to wait an hour for the bus service, and yet we will bend over backwards. Now, in the state of Wisconsin, at the same time we've seen record transit funding cuts, we've seen drastic freeway funding increases. And that's why there's a civil rights lawsuit filed against the state of Wisconsin by Micah, and by the Black Health Coalition, and they won a settlement.
ACLU.
And do we need to take a
we got a
break?
caller. Good afternoon, caller. Thanks for calling. How can we help you?
Yes, I just happened to tune in, and I heard that you say something about the bus riders group. Are you guys meeting, discuss? Because, see, now they have these they're concentrating on students going to UWM, and they bought in these new express lines that are going to be very confusing to people. They're retiring the number 10 route. It's going to be a real mess up, and it's geared not for the people in the central city of Milwaukee, but toward the people in the outskirts.
That's a really good point. A lot of the transit cuts, so our bus system has been decimated. As I was saying before, since 2000, it's important to keep in mind, those who have ridden the bus for a while, in 1999, as recently as just the turn of the century, we in Milwaukee had award-winning bus service.
I know, because I've been here all my life, and we were the top notch in the nation.
Right, we had great bus service, and it's been decimated. And part of what happens when they cut funding is they have to change routes, and it's also really confusing. You have to be a scholar of the bus system to know where these buses are going because they change it so quickly, and that's largely because of funding cuts.
There's another problem that exists, and sometimes we forget about that, and that is, they're going against Title VI policy was supposed to be not to discriminate. And as far as I can see, I wrote them a letter once to show up where they discriminated when they were changing the bus routes, where certain segments of the city got better route service, 10 to 15 minutes versus 20 to 30 minutes, and they never replied. But now with this new express, this is bringing people in from the outskirts to the universities and bypassing, going around, double routing and everything to almost keep people from enjoying it's like the expressway. It's geared to bring people from out in, but not people on the in. And so we need. So are you guys going to be meeting pretty soon? Where and when?
Yeah, we have monthly meetings. Our meeting is on the east side right now, and that's if anyone knows where Pizza Shuttle, our office is right next to Pizza Shuttle.
What's the address?
1845 North Farwell Avenue.
And
Suite 100.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, brother. Just too fast for me.
1845 North Farwell Avenue, Suite 100. And we meet the first Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock. And we always welcome new members. It'd be great to have you there, sir.
What number can they call? Is there a phone number they can call?
We have an email. Oh, Jackie, did you want to give your...
Yes, area code 414.
It won't do me any good because I don't have email.
No, 414?
414-242-1265. And our next meeting is January the 3rd, 2015 at 10 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Have a blessed day, you guys.
Thank you, caller, for those excellent questions. Fantastic.
Yes. It's fascinating to us how transportation can be a discriminatory action. All right, can discriminate against us. Folks do not want us to leave our neighborhood.
Right.
All right, they want us to stay here in the block, all right, in the hood.
Yeah.
The black people, Latino people should not be coming to the white hood, brothers and sisters. No, it might sound funny, but it's true.
Yes.
It's true that there's an intentional program that they increase the cost of the bus rides, all right? It cuts down the number of lines servicing our communities. That has been something that, when you are working in the community, you want to go from one place to another, it's very difficult to do it. It's very, very difficult to do it. And I will tell you, my heart breaks down when you see a grandma or you see grandpa in the winter time,
yes,
outside in the snow, and waiting for the bus to show.
Yes.
Or when grandpa is trying to get to the bus driver see the person coming and it still goes away.
Right. I've had that happen when I would roll the bus. They would just go right past you and you're like, why didn't they stop for me? That's the worst feeling in the world. Then you got to wait another half an hour. So I have a quick question because we're going to go to break. How often are the buses supposed to run?
So it varies from bus to bus, but it's a question. It's not really a question of how often are they supposed to? It's how often should they run?
Right.
And when you live in a cold state like this, like Milwaukee is, every bus should be running on 15 minutes from most hours of the day. It's really inhumane to have to wait any longer than that, and in all honesty, it could be dangerous. And so one thing we're saying is because buses aren't running as frequently as they ought to, as they used to when we had award-winning service, because of those funding cuts that came from the county and from the state, if nothing else, give us some heated shelters at least.
Hey, that's the next thing I want to talk. We're going to go to break, and we're going to talk about that because somebody I heard said, why do we not have heated shelters? We'll be right back on Heart and Soul with our wonderful guest today. Thank you.
Teen and young adult show called
We Are the Future. We are going to have a blast.
We're going to be talking about educational information and events for teens plus young adults.
And also important topics in our schools and community.
And we're going to share our talents with the world with a can-do attitude. Join us every last Saturday of the month for
We Are the Future.
Every last Saturday of the month at 8 a.m. here on 860 WNOV, The Voice. Today's show is sponsored in part by El Greco's Family Restaurant, located at 9143 West Appleton Avenue. Great food and late night hours. El Greco's Family Restaurant, fine dining or carry out. Also great service, located at 9143 West Appleton Avenue. That's 9143 West Appleton Avenue. Also, today's show is sponsored in part by Garfield's 502, located at 502 West Garfield Avenue. Happy hour $3 drink specials, Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. Taco Tuesday and karaoke. Wednesday, 50-cent wing night. And Friday, parlay and partay with Early Earl Stokes. And don't forget, every first Saturday of the month, the all-you-can-eat $10 brunch at Garfield 502, located at 502 West Garfield Avenue.
Would you like to be a guest or a sponsor on Heart and Soul and join the Heart and Soul family? Contact Wanda at area code 414-760-8653. That's area code 414-760-8653. Or let me know how I'm doing. Email me. My email address is heartandsoulwandawilliams@gmail.com. That's heartandsoulwandawilliams@gmail.com.
And now we return to Heart and Soul with your host, Wanda Williams.
Thank you, Keon. I am back with my wonderful, wonderful guest today, Mark. No, I got it wrong, didn't I?
It's Nick.
Nick. Why do I want to say Mark? And
It looks like Mark, though.
you know, and Jackie, and we're talking about the bus system. We're talking about a union. We're talking about I-94. We're just talking. If anybody
Potholes.
tacos too.
Potholes.
Oh, potholes! I thought you said tacos. I was gonna say I am so hungry. Do not mention food. Potholes. Tear up your car. Jackie, what you got for me, girl?
Well, I'd just like to add on Carlos' statement when he mentioned discrimination, particularly when it's affecting black and brown folks in our community. There's over 60 bus routes in the city of Milwaukee, and only 2 go out to the outlying areas where the jobs are. And that is because of the lawsuit that was filed back here in year 2012, I believe, by the ACLU, MICA, and of course, Milwaukee Transit Riders Union. We were also part of that. With over 44,000 jobs in the outlining area, and when Milwaukee's mentioned, it's poverty. Why are we in that or impacted by that? And because folks can't get to the jobs in the outlining area. So joining Milwaukee Transit Riders Union, we will ensure more bus routes out to the outlining areas where the jobs are. So that's
We need your voice to make that happen. The more people that get involved, that's how we can really create more advocacy, because that's what this fight against expanding I-94 is all about. Working with the SMART Coalition for More Responsible Transportation. That's our name at CMRT. So it's
Okay.
We got a little smart. We got a little smart acronym there. But we've got really important work too. And one of our coalition partners, Wisberg, helped to make this study happen that looked at what could we do instead of expanding the freeway. And basically what they found in this is that you could run buses along Wisconsin Avenue, along National Avenue, frequent rapid buses out to the suburbs, so that if people want to come in for the jobs, go ahead. Stay off the freeway. It's safer. And it's also better for the environment, as was mentioned.
And also helps.
But more importantly, it's not going to be like a freeway flyer. It's going to be a bus that serves people going both directions and all the way in between. The problem with freeway flyers is that they primarily serve people coming in from the suburbs into the city and don't serve reverse commute. What we're advocating for is a bus service that would serve both directions, because both people need to people in the city and people in the suburbs both need to access jobs, and both deserve the dignity of doing so in a safe and efficient manner.
Okay.
Also, whether one thing that is very critical for us is that the highways break communities, separated communities, all right?
Exactly.
And I think with us promoting more bus transportation, what we're looking is strengthening our communities.
Yes.
And support the businesses. You know,
In the city, yes.
Exactly. We want more people to be using the businesses in our area. We don't need to go far away, because you got to jump into bus and the expressway. Then you run the city. You didn't see the beauty and the things that we have here in Milwaukee. All right.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that the people understand, and the listeners understand that what we want to do is have a stronger Milwaukee, a better Milwaukee, where our children and our business people and our seniors and our community members can have a better place to be. That Milwaukee can have the recognition they used to have nationally, all right? And now, what recognition we have? The most segregated city.
Yeah, we do. I hear that quite a bit.
What recognition we have that we don't have a good transportation system.
Okay.
And I don't blame the county. The county is doing what they can with the little money they get from the state, all right? And the state keeps cutting down the money that they got for transportation.
Okay. If somebody wants to get in on the conversation, Keon, what is our number again?
414-444-5250. That's 414-444-5250.
And Wanda, the other thing about this is that when you see the construction, who is working in those highway constructions?
Don't ask me. Please don't ask me.
Who is working? They don't look like you and me.
No, they do not. I'm like, how did they get that job?
Like I have nothing against people having their jobs.
Exactly.
Right? Come on, give us some.
You know.
They're not even from the state of Wisconsin. One of the biggest companies working on 794 is up from Illinois.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.
They raise our taxes. They want. This is fun. They want to raise our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to pay more fees for the license plates and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They want to do all that kind of stuff, and they want to get the money to $1.2 billion to companies that do not work in Wisconsin, workers that do not look like you and me, and furthermore, they don't fix the potholes.
They sure don't. They sure don't. No, and I have a question, though. How far does the bus system go? And I don't know how far. Where does it stop? Where is it like, get off, you're on your own? How far does it go?
It generally stops at the border. And what we're
The county.
Yeah, border of the county. So not Mexico. What we're trying to say is, when you're talking about the kind of money that the state highway system gets, we need to start reimagining the way that our community looks. We talk a lot about, there's not enough money for this, there's not enough money for that. There's plenty of money in our state transportation system. We could be running all kinds of great service out to the community. It's a matter of the state's priorities, and it's because people don't speak up. Now, like I mentioned earlier, that lawsuit, and that Jackie mentioned as well, that lawsuit finally gave an opportunity for the city of Milwaukee to speak up. And so now we do have a couple of new routes that many people are taking advantage of. One actually runs right out here along Capitol Drive and then goes down to New Berlin.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a Route 6. And that is a very new route that came out of results of this lawsuit that was filed against the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. They had to settle, and because it was recognized that they were violating individual civil rights, primarily people in the city's civil rights. And so what came out of that lawsuit is they'd have to spend roughly $12 to $14 million to fund these routes. And a lot of people were wondering, well, is there really demand? You can run these buses, but sure, are there going to be enough people on it? That Route 6, from what I understand in the morning, is standing room only. If anyone rides Route 6 in the morning, it'd be great to hear your voice and hear your experience about riding this bus, because that money will not last forever. So it's really important we get people riding these routes, getting to their jobs in New Berlin, at FedEx, at New Seasons, these other places, so that we can create enough demand that this can be sustained long term.
So they go right by the jobs. You just
they
get
go
off
right to the jobs.
Okay,
yeah,
you don't have
to
to walk really far.
No, and that's been historically been what's happened for too long. People have to wait too long for the bus. That bus takes too long to get to where they're going, and ultimately doesn't get people to where they need to be. And so, however, when you're riding these freeways, they're talking about everything needs to be laid out. Paved in gold for people trying to get to their jobs in the city. So we need to really relook at this and say, people who are riding the bus are actually doing the right thing, and they need more support, because it is not easy riding the bus early in the morning, out in the cold, waiting for the bus.
The sun.
So one thing we're talking about too is these routes that are being proposed. Let's give some dignity to bus riders when they're waiting for the buses.
Yes.
How about better bus shelters? How about real-time information at the bus stops? They had this at UWM. The caller indicated that students are getting better service. UWM, one of the stops, they've got a screen that I don't think was active. At one point it was. They actually could indicate when the next bus is coming. Why not have that along Wisconsin Avenue? It would show reinvestment in the city, but also have a meaningful impact on people's lives. And finally, let's give some people some heated bus shelters, because it's dangerous to wait in the cold as long as people have to wait to catch that bus.
It is a lot of,
in the summer.
it is. So are these bus, what is these called? Bus schedules, are they accurate?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Yeah, they describe the new bus services of New Berlin Industrial Park Express, and this is the Route 6, and then you have the 279 Menominee Falls Industrial Park Express, and also you have the times, the weekdays and Saturdays that these buses actually, go out there to drop folks off to their jobs and bring them back into the city. So this was going on, as Nick stated, this is just 4 years. Now, to ensure that this goes on and continues, and we add more routes. Again, I'm promoting Milwaukee Transit Riders Union. You're listening, join us so we can ensure that these routes stays and we get more routes.
So where can they call if they want to hear some complaints or anything? Where can they call, Jackie?
They can call area code 414-242-1265.
So if they have complaints, if they are treating you badly, you need some more transportation, anything about buses and riding the buses, anything, please call Jackie, because she is an activist, let me tell you. She's an activist that really, really fights for our community, lives in the neighborhood. She uses the bus everywhere she goes, and she wears the T-shirt.
we need more people involved. So we also got a Facebook page. So look us up on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Check out our website. Our Facebook's Milwaukee Transit Riders Union. Just look for us on Facebook, like us, and get involved. Come to our meetings. We also want to have a meeting in your community. If you're more interested, if you want to learn more about the work we're doing about transit justice, how this ties into the broader movement, get in touch with us. And we're looking to have community presentations. If you have any kind of neighborhood group with your church, what have you, Jackie and I would be happy to come out, just listen to your stories, but also share a little bit more about what's going on, how you can get involved to improve. So we really want to get involved with you and your community.
Good afternoon, caller. Thank you for calling. How can I help you?
What about some of the money that the mayor has for the trolley? He said that money has to be used strictly for transportation. So why can't we use a part of that money for?
That's a really good question.
Areas.
That's a great question. So you've got. It's important to look at the entire transportation system. Buses are obviously the key part of Milwaukee's transportation system and always will be. It's important that we recognize this as a priority.
I understand that. What the
Right.
question was is that, I understand the transfer is very vital. I
Right.
want to know, can we talk or can you give a message to the mayor or contact the mayor about some of that?
This is different, Nick.
So
Nick,
what's
Nick. This is different.
So let me just explain. So the streetcar proposal is part of what if you want to look at historically, there was funding for a light rail that would have gone out and also streetcar here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee does need investment
for transportation. So can't we put some of that money toward
that money cannot go to anything else. What's important to look at? So
it's only for a trolley only.
Nick.
It's for the streetcar only. So it's important to look at when you look at if you can go on their website. They've got a couple of proposed routes. And what's the issue with their current route is that's first and foremost a redevelopment tool to encourage new businesses, new buildings along there. Now the problem is you have that going through the area that's already built up. When you look at, however, the MLK.
No, okay, I just want. I understand that portion. You want to go into a whole lot of detail for the rest of the people. I have a specific question. I'm at work, so I'm trying to be real quick. Now, I understand the trolley money. I thought it was for transportation. It's not. It's strictly for a trolley, so I understand that. The other portion, the outlying areas of Oconomowoc, is there a bus going there for the distribution center at Target? And what about Quad Graphics? Or do they have to pay for a van and they get a bus pass for a regular city bus, and they got to meet the van, which charges them more money they take out of their check to get them out there with a van? Is there buses going out to Quad Graphics?
I believe there used to be.
It's not anymore, but they charge them. You got to have two bus passes. You got to have. They take out of your check for the van when you meet at a certain spot, but you got to get on the bus early in the morning to get to that certain spot. And that's another $17 a week or whatever for a bus pass. On top of they take out of your check.
Which is completely unfair and unjust. We need to have bus routes going out to all suburban locations where these jobs are.
Focus on that or information, or I'm giving you information for Quad Graphics so they can get the schedules, just like they get the schedules for the costume place out there, okay? In New Berlin. They have a costume shop out there.
Yeah, okay, so you're talking about New Berlin. There's the Route 6. I'm not sure which Quad Graphics you're talking about. I know there used to be funding for getting into jobs, and that federal program called JARC is no longer there. So yeah, we do need more funding, and we do need your voice at the table so we can get more funding for suburban bus routes out to where the jobs are for Quad Graphics and all others.
I drive, and I'm not above taking a bus. So when it's bad outside, I plan this winter is to get on the bus. I matter of fact, have my stuff set ready to go. I have the time zone because if it's bad outside, I depend on public transportation. Plus, and I have two vehicles. On top of that, I would drop my car off to get fixed. I depend on the bus to take me to work and go back and get my car without asking someone else to go out of their way when they have things to do after work. So I depend on that myself, and I don't mind paying for it to get services. If I'm going to a festival, sometimes I'll just take the bus down. I live downtown, but I'll take the bus in, I'll take it back, I'll take it to the stadium. I appreciate the public transportation, but I know, like you said, the Route 10 and off of Holly Road over there, I know a lot of older people who used to work from Milwaukee County. They don't have transportation. They voice it all the time to me. I do a lot of community stuff. It's terrible.
Right.
You're right.
It's
Caller, thank you. You're 100% right. And just regarding to the first question, there are packs of money, federal money, that goes to different projects, all right? So the money that is allocated they are looking to get for the what is it called? For the trolley, not trolley, for the streetcar, is only allocated for that. But what we are asking you to do is to call the mayor or call your alderman and tell them, please, that you're opposing the expansion of the highway. You do not want an expansion of the highway. Do you want an alternative that creates more bus rides for our people in our community?
Okay.
I could just
Good afternoon, caller. How can we help you?
Yes, I just have quick comments.
Go ahead.
I tuned in just in time because my biggest concern is these bus shelters. We don't have enough of them, period. The corner of 60th and Capitol, in the winter is just heartbreaking to see the moms standing up there with the children, and the cold wind is just coming off that hill, sweeping on them. And I'm thinking that we need to at least consider maybe boycotting or something. This is ridiculous. And then secondly, the buses do not use their turn signals. I can't tell you how many times I've almost pulled in front of a bus or whatever, because the bus, when it's pulling off, you don't know if it's stationary or what. And I'm like, aren't they supposed to use their turn signals when they're stopping and pulling away from a stop? And I'll just hang up to hear some comments. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
caller. Thank you. We appreciate those questions. Go ahead.
So you're right on. We do need a lot more. We do need many more bus shelters. Take note of that 60th and Capitol. For those of you who also feel a need to see more bus shelters, please, get in touch with us. Obviously, we're just going to be on here for a short period of time. As far as turn signals, one thing I'd say is if buses had their own dedicated lanes, they wouldn't have to pull in and out. And that's another thing, too. So like I said, we need to reimagine the way our system's set up. You look at other cities; they paint a big strip through that lane. Obviously, you can't do it on every lane, on every street, because some streets it's too congested. Capitol is a good example of where there's probably enough space where you could have one lane where you don't even have to have buses and cars intermingling. Give one lane just for the buses, let them do their thing. Cars can have the other lanes, and not only would it make it safer for cars, but it'd make it faster for buses, because buses ultimately have to wait in traffic, and you've got 30, 40, 50 people on that bus. Why should all those people have to wait behind a few cars? We need to give some bus riders some dignity.
Yes. I have one quick question. Is it a done deal with 94? Is it done?
No, not at all.
No, it's not. It's not.
Because I hear it on the news every night. It makes it seem like they're going to start digging tomorrow.
Yeah, right now.
It's not going to be for years.
Years.
No.
It's still in the planning stage, and we need people involved to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well, hold on. What's happening right now? They just have a couple public hearings, all right, and now they need to do a report so they can present that to the federal highway transportation systems. So we are still in the process. Even they're accepting comments over the internet and until January 13. So right now we're still in the process that we can hold them from implementing this project and act upon. But to do that, anybody who wants to be part of this, please call me. I'm going to give you my cell phone. You can call me. My cell phone number is 414-758-0600. 414-758-0600. And the process, this is going to take yet, they need to get approval from the federal level to get this, and then get the money. So still we have some room to fight back, all right?
Good.
And get what we need and what we deserve in our communities.
Okay, Jackie, you're going to leave us with some information.
And that is what Carlos is referring to is called the environmental impact statement. And now we're waiting on the results. Those hearings were December the 3rd and the 4th, and we had a wonderful turnout from the community in support of an alternative to the highway proposed expansion by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. So we're looking at the results from this environmental impact statement, I'm saying about midsummer, if not before. So that's what we're waiting on, and again, it's called the Environmental Impact Statement, and you have until January the 13th to apply your comments to the highway expansion, because we definitely don't want a double-decker highway, which is $180 million, and that money can be used for other things in our community, like fixing our potholes. And that Southeast Regional phone number for the Environmental Impact Statement is area code 262-548-5902. Again, that number is area code 262-548-5902.
And
now,
just tell them that you are opposing the expansion of the highway.
And the meeting for the union, the next meeting?
January 3rd, 2015, 10 o'clock, 1845 North Farwell Avenue, Suite 100.
Now,
Next to Pizza Shuttle.
Next to Pizza. These guests are going to be back in the new year because they're going to keep
coming back, baby.
Yes.
We're coming back. We'll be back.
You come back and let me know what's
so smooth.
I will be back. I like that. To let us know what's going on and to rally more people because
And
all
you
these
know what?
concerns.
You know what? We're going to come back and talk about the increase of the We Energies rates. in
Oh,
January
yeah.
and
Oh, we
February.
didn't even get to
We
that.
have to go to
We
that
need a
in
2-hour
January.
show. We should do a
we
2-hour
need it
show.
in January, baby.
We're going to do a 2-hour show. I think we're going to do it. We Energy. We get
We Energy.
Okay. I want to say thank you to all my guests.
Juan Carlos?
Nick DeMarsh.
Jackie Ivy.
And I want to say we will be back on January 3rd.
Holidays.
Happy holidays. I'd like to thank all my sponsors who supported me in 2014. Glorious Malone's. My new sponsors. Who else? Who's been supporting me? Hubie and Abraham. Who else has been supporting me? Keon, come and help me now. Garfield 502. Love you so much, Joel and Lamar.
Wisconsin Black Chamber.
Well, Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce. Where would we be without them? My God, they're coming back on. They got some new stuff going on. Who else? Salon Options. Oh, we're gonna get some new sponsors.
El Greco's Family Restaurant.
That's right, you got it. Are we gonna go there after this? I love it. I love El Greco Family Restaurant. You go to El Greco's?
I'm going to El Greco's right now.
All right. Oh, thank everybody for this year. We'll be back on January 3rd in the new year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless and Happy Kwanzaa. She said that. Happy Kwanzaa. And God love everybody and have a safe and wonderful holiday.
Thank you to our brother.
Thank you. Oh, Keon, what I want to say, my main man, Keon, Josh, my videographer.
And to all the listeners of WNOB.
You can have my job. You do better than me.
And to all the listeners of WNOB.
Yes, all the listeners of WNOB, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. He's going to come back and take my job next year. I'm not going to even show up. Thank everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye. Would you like to be a guest or a sponsor on Heart and Soul and join the Heart and Soul family? Contact Wanda at area code 414-760-8653. That's area code 414-760-8653. Or let me know how I'm doing. Email me. My email address is heartandsoulwandawilliams@gmail.com. That's heartandsoulwandawilliams@gmail.com.